You know, it's all about being efficient.
No
Okay,
taxes.
it's all about being systematized. Correct.
Clarify that, there's no employment tax or any of that kind of
We pay Elance directly. Elance is a U.S. company, so we just pay them whatever the agreed rate is, and they handle the taxes or they take out a deduction from the vendors when they send in money. So I don't have to worry about it. So it's great. So actually, I'm hiring a U.S. company, technically speaking, because it's Elance, but then they outsource the work, and I just deal directly with the person doing the work.
We're all trying to see how we can give our clients that stellar service, okay? And we're just going to continue to evolve in how we do that. How do you distribute leads to the team members? And I'm just going to give like a little example. Do you go by area? Do you go by rotation? Do you go by ability? How do you guys, because you guys can make it rain and everybody in this room can make it rain, how do you share the wealth with your team members so you don't just like blow great leads?
Sure. We have it set up so that I asked everybody, what is it that you really like to do? So we have it based on personality style, area, and price range. I know there's certain $1 million clients I know a certain buyer agent would handle the best. There's $100,000, $50,000 investors that I know another buyer agent would handle the best. So we have it kind of split up on who does what based on what they like to do. So right now I have a good balance on my team, whereas one agent likes to do rentals, one agent only likes to work, higher end stuff and referrals. They don't work that much, but when they do come in, that's what they like to do. So we have it based on personality style and the type of lead that comes in.
I'm going to ditto that, but also then it's all the ability to the time frame. If somebody's out with a buyer and this buyer needs to go out this afternoon, then we're going to switch around. So you have to, you have to be flexible that way too. But yeah, and for me, I have somebody now in East Fort Lauderdale, I have somebody in Weston, and I have somebody north. So now I'm able to cover a little bit more than I used to. So that part made it a lot easier too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to add, we actually had, when one buyer agent was gone and their lead needed to see something, you get into, well, it's my lead, so it's my deal, all that much. So what we did to stop that from happening was we have what's called a shared commission guideline. We broke the transaction down into steps. Buyer consultation, showing properties per day, doing the contract, going out on the listing appointment, doing a walkthrough and closing. We assigned a dollar value to each. So that way, if it ever happens that one buyer agent's out of town for a day and their buyer comes into the office, we already have pre-arranged compensation worked out. So the transaction continues and they've already worked that out ahead of time, what the compensation is going to be for doing each part of the process.
Tim,
I'm going to use that. That's good.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, for us too, we try to keep everybody on rotation, but we also try to assign the lead based on personality. But of course, it's schedules too. It's very important that we work around schedules. So, and my team members right now, my team is fairly small. We all know each other's responsibilities, and we'll jump in and help each other without having to charge for it unless something extraordinary happens. And then we have an agreement that we'll cover each other if that happens. So.
You can kind of see that everybody's got ability in their equation. It really is hard to hand somebody a multi-million-dollar client looking for equestrian, and they've basically been doing lower-end properties. You'd be doing the client a disservice, and quite frankly, the agent might not be able to make it happen. And all of them have a rotation system. The compensation thing was very interesting, and Tim had mentioned that in his team, they don't really, for something minor, expect anything. Some people that we've worked with in the past, all of us as agents, you said hello to the client, now you're in for 25%. And I like your equation. Possibly, if you would email that to us, would everybody like to see how that break? Would that be okay?
Yeah. I actually have a Facebook page for things like this. It's called facebook.com/growmybusiness.
Okay.
So if you go there, I'm going to post it there later today. So you can just click on it, it'll open, and you'll see the compensation.
Perfect. All of the people in this room are amazing. All of you guys either own offices, run offices, own teams, run teams. Coaching. The greatest athletes on earth, the greatest performers, all of these great people have coaches. How do you guys handle that for yourselves and for your team?
I've been coaching with Bob Corcoran for 10 years.
Okay.
I also have an internet coach. His name is Michael Russer, and he's been my internet coach for about a year. So we do a weekly with Bob Corcoran. Any other Bob Corcoran clients here? Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have a weekly call that we go, a bi-weekly call that we just go over what's going on and the problems we're having. And I mean, anytime I need something, they just get it to me. Like, you know, if I need the other day I called, I emailed my coach. I said, call me right away, I got a problem. And I had an objection from one of my expired calls. And so she called me right away. She said, what's up? I said, ring, ring. I just gave her this right away. I'm the seller and she was the agent, and I just went right away. I said, okay, great. I got the objection answer I needed. I called the client back, talked to him when I wanted to cut the listing. So they're pretty responsive. So I like them. And the internet coach I have was for developing my target markets to, you know, because all our average sale prices went down, right, over the last couple of years. So had to find a way to increase the sale prices. So, you know, we built a good website and a good online strategy, and he actually taught me about the virtual assistants over the last couple of years. So, and that's pretty much ongoing now.
What's the name of that coach?
Bob Corcoran?
No, they-
Michael Russer, onlinedominance.com.
I've never had an actual coach, but I do listen to, you know, back in, I guess, 92 or 93, I went to one of those Star Power events, and boy, did I get hooked, and I would listen to a tape a month. So, yeah, that's how I implemented the things. But then, and I always go to, I call it an education junkie, but I feel that you always have to continue to be educated, you know, and how do you improve business, and how are you going to improve it so that the client, you know, is satisfied, the whole bit, you know. So, but I've been to many different groups, you know, back in, I don't know, I want to say 20 years ago, Larry Revere and Addie Adler, we all got together. It was like 7 of us in this town, and we would get together once a month, and we would just discuss. We were all with different companies, but discuss what we were doing, you know, team setup, because, I mean, I've had assistants now since, I mean, it's the 32nd year of business, but I want to say since 27 years ago, when it wasn't something that people did back then. But it's because I had babies and I wanted to be at home, and, you know, I didn't want to have to be at the office all the time. So it was always just really listening to the tapes. And then with my team, we are coaching each other in the sense of, I mean, because I learned from everybody else just as much as they learned from me. So it's more a team meeting type thing. So that's how I've been worked it. And then I, like you said, with the internet, Pro Step Marketing is the one that I combined 2 of them, met with Real Pro, and to get the internet presence. So.
I last used to coach about 10 years ago, but I'm in 2 realtor roundtables now, one that meets once a month, one that meets once a week. And same thing, from all different companies, different agents, and we can bounce things off each other. We call each other all the time, email each other forms that we use, or how would you resolve this issue, things like that. So that's worked out really well. And our company just instituted now a monthly meeting for the top agents in Southeast Florida. So that's just started. We had our first meeting last week. So, yeah.
You can kind of see